All right, let's dive deep into the world of Geminis today.
Ooh, Geminis.
We're going to be looking at an excerpt that a listener sent in from Linda Goodman's Sun Signs.
Oh, fantastic.
Which, I think most people who follow astrology have at least heard of that book.
It's a classic.
And so, yeah, Geminis, even just from this excerpt, I'm already getting kind of like major Gemini vibes.
Absolutely. And Goodman's style, it's so engaging and insightful.
Yeah.
It's perfect for like a deep dive like this, especially with a sign like Gemini that's known for being so complex and captivating.
So let's jump right into it.
Okay.
The most fundamental Gemini trait, I feel like we have to start with the twins.
Yes.
Like, what does it actually mean to have this dual nature?
Right.
And how does that play out in their lives?
It's like having two sides.
Right.
But it's more than that. It's really the interplay between those two sides. It's like imagine two threads woven together.
Yeah.
Sometimes harmonizing, sometimes clashing. And that's what creates this dynamic, ever-shifting energy that Geminis are known for.
And it's so funny how Goodman describes it, with those phrases like, now you see him, now you don't.
Right.
And she talks about how they change their clothes, love, work, or residence as quickly as they change their minds.
Oh, absolutely.
It's almost like they're constantly reinventing themselves.
They are. It's part of their charm.
Yeah.
It's like 1 minute they can be deeply engaged in a conversation.
Right.
And the next they've vanished into thin air.
It's true.
Drawn to some new idea or experience.
You know what it reminds me of? And this is so classically Gemini.
Oh, yeah.
I was with a Gemini friend one time. And we were at a cafe.
Okay.
Just having coffee.
Right.
Chatting it up, having a great conversation. And I looked away for like a second to grab something out of my bag. And poof.
Gone. That's a Gemini.
No goodbye.
Nope.
No explanation.
They're off on a new adventure.
And I found out later they had just like scotted someone they knew across the street and just took off.
Classic.
So Gemini.
Yes.
But that impulsiveness, I feel like that also goes back to the whole thing about them being ruled by Mercury.
Absolutely.
Right.
Mercury is that planet of communication, intellect, and movement. It's that quicksilver energy.
Yeah.
And that's why Geminis always seem to have this like nervous energy. Their minds are just constantly going flitting from one thought to the next.
Goodman even describes it as, their nervous energy that crackles, sizzles, and pops.
Perfect description.
Right. It's very fitting.
Very Gemini.
So that explains their love of words.
Yes.
Their communication ability.
Their ability to absorb information quickly.
That are almost superhuman.
It's true. They are like information sponges.
And they have these unique reading habits, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Like some Geminis start books at the end.
Of course they do.
Have you ever heard of this?
Oh, yeah. They got to know the ending first.
It's so interesting.
It's that air element,
Right.
It's all about mental exploration, freedom to kind of explore ideas from every angle.
It's not linear.
Yeah.
It's not like a straight line for them.
Nope. They zigzag all over the place.
So, okay.
Yeah.
This mastery of communication that they have, does that translate into like them being amazing writers, amazing speakers?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They have this natural gift for articulating their thoughts and connecting with people on an intellectual level.
Right.
Goodman mentions John F. Kennedy and Michael Todd.
Oh, yeah.
Both Geminis.
Okay.
And masters of persuasion in their own unique ways.
That's fascinating because they're very different people.
Very different.
But yeah, both able to like captivate audiences.
Yes.
And kind of sell their ideas.
It's a Gemini superpower.
Communication.
Communication for sure.
But I feel like any superpower has a shadow side.
You're right. There's always a shadow side.
And so for Geminis, is it that they sometimes embellish the truth a little bit?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But not out of malice.
Right.
It's because their imaginations are so active. It's like they're adding a little extra flair to the story.
So it's not lying.
Not necessarily.
It's like creative license.
Yeah, their creative minds just kind of like
embellishing.
Yeah.
Making it more engaging, more entertaining.
Right. Oh, okay.
So we've covered duality. We've talked about this mercurial mind and communication. What else is there to kind of understand the essence of a Gemini?
Restlessness.
Okay.
It's like in their DNA.
Yeah.
Routine is their kryptonite. They need change.
Yeah.
Novelty.
Right.
Anything to keep their minds buzzing.
This is all starting to make sense.
Oh, I bet.
Because, Goodman even has this hilarious anecdote about Geminis and their struggles with punctuality. And she says, it's not that they forget appointments. It's that they get so easily distracted along the way.
Like a kid in a candy store.
It's so trendy.
They see something shiny,
yeah.
They got to go check it out.
But then does that, constant need for novelty, does that also become frustrating for them?
Oh, it can be.
Yeah.
It's that double-edged sword because they crave stimulation, but it can make commitment a challenge.
Right.
Whether it's to a project, a relationship, even a simple plan.
It's like they're always searching for something just beyond the horizon.
Always.
Yeah.
And that's the paradox of the Gemini spirit.
So it's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
But also kind of...
a little bit of a curse.
Yeah, like a double-edged sword.
Definitely.
They need to find a way to harness that energy.
They do.
And, channel it into something meaningful.
Absolutely.
So that leads us to, I think, a really interesting part of the Gemini personality.
Okay.
Which is their inner world.
Yes.
Because beneath all of this outward activity, I feel like there's a depth.
There is.
And a complexity.
Absolutely.
That most people don't see.
Most people never get to see it. Yeah. It's like they have this secret garden.
Yeah.
A place where they process their thoughts and emotions away from all that external whirlwind.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They need that kind of sanctuary to balance out all the stimulation.
Exactly. And Goodman even hints at that.
Yeah.
Remember that line she says, in the depths of his inquiring and impatient nature, Gemini seeks an ideal, and his main problem is in knowing which one it is.
Wow. Yeah, that really gets to the heart of it.
Doesn't it?
This deep yearning and this constant search for something more.
It's like they have this inner compass, but it's spinning wildly, pointing them in 1,000 different directions.
Right? Yeah.
And with so many possibilities, it can be really tough to choose just one path.
So that's why maybe they sometimes come across as indecisive.
It could be.
Or flaky.
Yeah.
They're just overwhelmed by all the options.
They're not trying to be difficult. They just have so many things they're interested in.
Right, and it's that air element.
It is.
That's always
mental exploration adaptability.
Yeah.
They need to test the waters, experience things firsthand before they can truly commit.
It sounds exhausting.
It can be.
Always on the go, always thinking, always questioning.
Yeah.
Do Geminis ever just chill?
That's the $1 million question, right?
Right.
Finding that balance between stimulation and stillness, because even though they might not show it, Geminis do crave introspection and reflection.
So how can they reconcile those two seemingly opposite needs?
That's where self-awareness comes in.
Okay.
Geminis need to learn to recognize their own patterns.
Yes.
To understand their motivations and develop strategies for channeling their energy.
So finding outlets.
Yes.
That allow them to express all these different sides of themselves.
Exactly, without feeling scattered or overwhelmed.
This has been so enlightening. I feel like I'm finally starting to get Geminis. It's not just,
It's not just being a social butterfly. Yeah. There's so much more to it.
So much more depth. Okay, so speaking of complexities, Goodman ends this section with a really interesting question.
Oh, yeah.
She says, what is it he seeks? Referring to that constant Gemini quest for something better.
Right.
And it almost makes me wonder, in their pursuit of novelty and excitement, are they missing out on the simple joys?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because they're so future-oriented, focused on what's next.
Right.
They might overlook the beauty that's right in front of them.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most profound discoveries aren't in the grand adventures, but in the quiet moments.
The simple things.
Yeah.
Exactly. And maybe that's the ultimate challenge for Geminis. Embracing the present moment, finding contentment.
Wow.
In the midst of all that exploration.
That's deep.
Realizing that true fulfillment comes from appreciating what they have.
Okay, so how can a Gemini cultivate this sense of presence and appreciation?
Well, mindfulness practices can be really helpful.
Like what?
Meditation, yoga, even just taking a few moments each day to quiet the mind.
So just slowing down.
Yes.
Tuning out the noise.
Tuning out the noise, connecting with themselves.
So it sounds like finding that balance.
Balance is key.
Yeah.
For Geminis, balancing stimulation with stillness, their outward focus with their inner world.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong journey, but the more self-aware they become, the more they can harness their unique gifts and create a life that truly reflects who they are.
It makes you wonder, is that a blessing or a curse?
It's a little bit of both.
Yes.
It fuels their curiosity,
their
adaptability, their ability to connect with so many different people and ideas.
Yeah.
But it can also create that sense of restlessness, never quite being satisfied.
Always chasing the horizon.
Exactly.
But never reaching it.
And that's why it's so important for them to cultivate gratitude.
Okay.
For what they have, for the experiences, the relationships that bring them joy right now.
So for a Gemini who's struggling with that, how can they kind of like embrace that need for novelty but not lose sight of what matters?
I would say explore your creative side.
Okay.
Geminis thrive when they have an outlet for their energy and their imagination.
Uh-huh.
It could be writing, painting, music, dance, a new project at work.
Okay.
Anything that sparks their passion.
Right.
And lets them channel that multifaceted nature into something tangible.
So that sweet spot between curiosity and creativity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Geminis are natural communicators.
Right.
Sharing their ideas and passions can help them feel more grounded.
Okay, so connect with other people.
Connect with others, yes.
This has been so insightful.
Yeah.
I feel like I understand Geminis so much better now.
I'm glad to hear that.
All those strengths and struggles and what makes them so captivating.
And that's the power of astrology.
Yeah.
It helps us understand ourselves and other people.
So to our listener, keep exploring the world of Geminis.
Mm-hmm.
Observe the Geminis in your life. Read about them. Reflect on your own experiences with duality and all that.
Like Goodman said, Geminis are the explorers of the mind.
That's a great quote.
Let their journey inspire you to embrace your own curiosity.
Yeah.
To celebrate your own individuality.
Love it.
And never stop seeking learning and growing.
And remember, sometimes the most valuable discoveries are the ones we make about ourselves.
Well said.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.
See you next time.